guys, it's Gina with Sidewalk Talk. Today, I'm with
NURKO.
NURKO. How are you?
I'm good.
You had a show last night. How was that?
It was fun.
Yeah?
Sold out, so that's always a good time.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It was the first time I played Exchange, so.
How often do you come to LA?
I come a decent amount because basically my whole like team is out here.
Right.
And then my label, Astralwerks, is based out of Capitol Records.
Ah.
And then yeah, there's a lot of awesome venues out here that I end up playing. Yeah. Like
How did you start working with? When did you start working with Astralwerks? That's awesome.
It's I think almost a year now. I mean, it's not quite a year, but yeah, so it's still relatively new.
I see.
We just released the EP with them, and I think like last week or something, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations! How is it like working with such a big, like label?
It's cool. It's a little different than what I'm used to. There's a lot of like A&R meetings and vocals getting pitched to you and stuff.
Right.
But like the only thing that's what I didn't really know is like sometimes they send vocals, but then the vocals are also in the hands of like people like, I don't know, like Martin Garrix and stuff, and then they're like, we're actually just gonna go with Martin Garrix. So
whoa, it works like that?
Sometimes, yeah.
That's crazy.
Like it's like almost like you have to like prove the song needs to be like they need to approve it, the top line people. But instead of just like, hey, you want to work on this song and sing on it? Oh yeah, sure, and let's make the song. It's like, all right, I finished the song. What do you think? And they could be like, oh, we're not really feeling this direction, so we're gonna go a different way. It's like, all right.
Interesting. What an insight, because I did not imagine that. I would always think like, you know, if they would pitch it to you, it's kind of like yours until you make your own spin. I didn't know it was one of those things like, you got one shot with this vocal.
Yeah, I mean,
you impress us.
Yeah, I mean,
but it makes sense.
It's not like Astralwerks isn't doing it. They're just getting pitched to Astralwerks from like publishers and stuff.
Right.
So it's like the publishers and stuff have a lot of control over stuff.
Ah, I see.
So yeah, that's the one thing that I was not used to, I would say, because before that, all the singers I worked with, we were like, okay, this is gonna be the song. Let's make it.
But congratulations! I mean, that's a huge step just for an artist to work with such a big big label.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a step in the right direction, I guess, in my career.
Yeah. So you grew up in Jersey.
I did, yes.
What was it like growing up in Jersey?
Well, I mean, I grew up in this like small town where it was predominantly like artists. Like my parents are like painters. Yeah.
So unique.
And so like the town has a lot of like I guess artists because they wanted to like be near New York, so
so your entire town?
Oh, not. I wouldn't say the entire.
What?
I wouldn't say the entire town, but it is a lot of artists.
Wait,
there.
so what's the reason behind a bunch of artists kind of migrating in that area?
I don't know. I kind of just I just was born, and then everybody was like, hey, these people are artists, and so I don't really know exactly why it happened, but it was like. I guess it's probably just I'd imagine living kind of close to New York because New York is like for like art is like the big spot, you know.
True. What type of painters are your parents?
So they do, I would say like abstract kind of murals.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And then my dad does like graphic design stuff as well, so like computer stuff, but he didn't used to. Once the digital age kind of took over, that's when he was like, all right, I gotta migrate to this stuff.
What's it like growing up with such artsy parents?
It's cool. I mean,
are you visually talented as well?
Do
you draw and stuff?
I mean, I used to draw, but it wasn't really. I was never really like good like they are. But it was interesting growing up for sure because like they didn't have that like 9-to-5 job kind of thing. so they were always in their studio. So it was like a
That's really nice.
Yeah, it was like a blessing and a curse because they didn't. I never got that. Well, the curse was just because they didn't like have that like retirement plan and stuff like set. So it's like they're kind of just like they just took that risk. Kind of like exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I think I should be all right though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So when you were growing up in Jersey, what were you and your friends listening to? What type of music?
So I mean, it depends what age. Like when I was in high school, it was a lot of like Rage Against the Machine, kind of like hard rock stuff.
Okay.
And then also like a lot of like Eminem was really popping off at that point. So he was like I was listening to him a lot. And then just actually since my dad's also a musician, like he plays guitar.
Yeah.
He introduced me to a lot of.
When did he introduce you to drums and piano? Was it all at the same time when he was introducing those?
No, it was drums first. I just remember.
How old were you?
I was young. I think I was like 5 or 6.
What?
Yeah, like I wasn't like playing the kits or anything, but he like I just had like he had this like bongo drum. And I just remember I remember just like playing it, and then I was like I kind of like this, and I just kept doing it from there.
Oh.
But yeah, he introduced me to a lot of like Jimi Hendrix and like
The classics.
the classics, yeah, like the 60s rock era.
Okay. Is that what your mom listened to as well?
A little bit. She listens to the more like I guess like Ray Charles kind of stuff, like more not really rock, more like soul and stuff like that.
Wow.
Sometimes
so cool.
sometimes she even listens to like gospel, which is interesting to hear.
Yeah. So you just grew up with a diverse kind of like just exposed to all different types of music pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. Grew up in a very musical and artsy kind of environment.
Yeah. So what did you do for fun in Jersey, like growing up?
Well, we kind of lived near a lot of woods, so we used to like go in the woods and then go into these like water holes and stuff.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and there's like behind my house there's this like lake kinda, and then also this like stream, and we used to like run in the stream, and then we used to like jump in this like hole with like water and stuff.
Oh.
But then we realized we didn't know until after that it's an irrigation lake. It's not like it's like meant for farming, so there's like probably like chemicals in there.
Oh no!
So like
no.
Yeah, so we're like, oh shit.
When did you find that out?
Like we actually kept doing it after we found it out. We were just stupid
Whatever.
kids.
I mean, we're already exposed.
Yeah, so I think it was very minor chemicals, like nothing that's like, but
true.
But technically, yeah, you're not supposed to be in that lake.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, a lot of woods, a lot of sledding and stuff like that.
Oh, sledding.
Yeah.
Oh, so you like to do a lot of outdoor things.
Yeah, I used to until I started making music, and then you're locked in a studio, like in a cave for like most of the time.
What was your favorite subject in school?
Favorite subject? Well, like college or
Well, I'm gonna start with, because I know in college you studied music and neuropsychology, right?
Yeah, it was totally random. Like,
but what were your favorite subjects before, like in grade school?
Grade school? That's tough. I mean, I was horrible at math, so I hated math.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I think probably like the creative writing. I don't know if that's like a subject, but
I love that class.
Yeah, but that was always fun.
I had that class too.
Yeah, because I would always just like make some story, and then you kind of get lost in it while you're.
Yeah, so it's like writing music.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the math was just like, oh my god, I hate this so much. Like why do we have to do this?
Why? Right? Like when have I ever used math? I mean, there are people that use math to this day.
Yeah,
but for me, like I don't really use it.
Especially now the technology we have now.
Exactly. You could just figure it out. You just ask ChatGPT at that point.
Yeah. Or just ask Siri.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how to calculate like a tip, so I'll look up on the phone. I'll be
Now
like,
it's just now you just ask your Apple Watch.
yeah, how much is
And that's
what's
it.
20% of this?
Exactly. There's no point anymore.
Yeah.
Why were you so interested in psychology in college?
It was just kind of like I was kind of like taking different classes, and the first time I took a psychology class, I was like, wow, this is really interesting. And then the first time I took like a more brain-based class, I was like really interested in just the way the human brain works. And then that's why I was like, I kind of can see myself doing this. But then as soon as I graduated, the music kind of took over, and I was like, I'm not doing any of this.
Okay, so you graduated and then started pursuing music.
I was always pursuing music, but when I graduated was when things started to kind of pick up a little bit with music. Where I was like, I'm not gonna go and try and get like a PhD right now, because you would need like a PhD to do anything with like neuropsychology stuff.
You need a PhD to pursue.
For to be a neuropsychologist, yeah, you need a PhD.
Whoa.
And I was like,
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's basically you're not like a medical doctor, but you're like you're
a mental doctor.
You're like a part of the team of like it's basically just like studying behavior from the aspects of the brain.
Right.
And I thought that was cool.
Oh wow.
But now I remember like nothing whatsoever from it, so like it's all gone.
Did your parents, when did you tell them that you wanted to pursue music?
I think it was like, must have been like when I was like maybe 16, 17.
Okay.
This could be completely wrong. Maybe it was 18. I'm not really good at the
And
exact ages.
Yeah, me either. So were you in college?
I believe I was just,
Or high
I
school?
was just starting college. Yeah.
Okay, just starting college.
It was because I went to in New York. I went to actually like a Spong. There was this band Spongle. He's like
Spongle.
Spongle. He's like he is two guys, very like psychedelic kind of trippy electronic music. And I went to a show, and it was like, man, like I want to do this. This is like the experience was like amazing, and that's when I was just like, I want to do this. But my parents, since they're artists, they kind of didn't really have any issues with it, I guess, because the only thing they warned me about is just, you should have like a backup plan and stuff.
Right. So they wanted you to finish college.
Yeah, because they're in the arts. It's not the most like secure.
Of course. Yeah.
Secure career. So I kind of was working until I was able to like quit and just do music full time. Like I was always doing music full time, but I was having to work still to like pay the bills and all that.
Yeah, of course. Were you working any jobs while you were kind of learning music and getting your music career to kick off?
Yeah, so when my music started to kick off, I was still having to like have like a job, and it was a very interesting job.
What was it?
So I was working in a behavioral hospital as like a mental health clinician. Because like I wanted to do something in the field of what I graduated.
Of course, yeah.
But it ended up being kind of just like it was too stressful. I was there for like 3 years, but
holy moly! But
it wasn't. It wasn't full time. Like I think I did full time for like 6 months, and then I was like, I feel like I'm starting to become like a patient here, so I gotta get out of here.
Oh no! I feel like even though you're working at somewhere like that, it's gonna affect you mentally.
Exactly. Like I really liked helping people, but it's just like natural. Like you kind of absorb the energy of the place.
That's what you're surrounded by.
Yeah, and like it was just like surrounded by this like kind of negative, tense environment all the time. Started to like take a toll. So I was just, you know what? I'm gonna go like part time, and then I like went really part time, and then eventually I was just like,
you can't do it anymore.
Well, I was able to when I waited until I was able to like music was able to like which is full-time music and nothing else. But yeah, a lot of stories from that place.
Are you allowed to say one story?
I'm probably allowed to because I don't work there anymore.
Yeah, like
I mean,
what
it
was,
used
I'm just curious what it's like working.
Yeah, so I mean, well, a day. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of like basically. I went into the job thinking that I was just kind of like help the nurses and doctors kind of diagnose patients and stuff, and like, but it ended up being more like, you're a male, so if anything goes down, you have to go hands-on. Like that's like, I was like, I don't.
What does that even mean? Oh, like grab them?
Well, there's
and hold them down, like in the movies and stuff.
The first, yeah. I mean, well, there's like, it didn't really matter if you're a doctor, you're a nurse. Well, no, not really the doctors, but nurses, anybody that was like a man, which is a little bit like sexist also.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird because there was like some women that are strong.
Oh yeah.
There's some strong women in there, and I mean.
Oh, so the women, like even strong women, couldn't even.
They anybody could go hands on, but it was generally they would be like, we need men down at this wing, we need this men. They would call codes and stuff.
That's so dangerous.
So the craziest thing that I've experienced there, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but if I do, whatever. It was like there's this patient, and this was on they have one of the wings was the involuntary, like so like the unit where it's like they're there against their will technically.
Oh.
Which is never really a fun place to be because no one wants to be there, you know.
No one wants to be there.
Yeah. So so this guy, this really big guy, just randomly like went up to this other patient and just like punched them like in the face.
Oh, can you stand on this side?
Oh yeah.
Because I angled it.
So
I
yeah.
Focus on you more.
So he just randomly like punched this other patient, so they had to like call a code. But the guy was like, they have this like, they told him to go into like this like, they call it like the seclusion room, where it's like it's a quiet area where they can like calm down. So he was just like in this the seclusion room, but they were noticing like he's not like he's like still very tense, like this guy. So they had to go against like protocol because like he was like, I remember one nurse was like, we have to give you this medication like because this is like the involuntary unit, the doctor can give an override and be like, you have to take it even if you don't want to, which I also kind of didn't like. Like I felt weird having to force like them to take stuff. And when he said like, the doctor was like, or the nurse was like, we have to give you this medication, the guy was just like, he like fist up, he like postured up, and he's like, all right, let's go. Like he meant like, if anybody tries to give me this medication, I'm gonna like fight all of you. But this guy was so big, and like it was so scary because they had like 20 men around this guy, and then because like they didn't want like it got to the point where we needed to like go like hands on with him, but
20 dudes?
No, not 20 dudes. Like just like 20 dudes were kind of more just like there to like be like, hey, like there's a lot of guys here, like we don't want to do anything, but like come on, just like relax. But one of the nurses knew that like somebody's gonna get punched by this guy and gonna get hurt. So he took a mattress and like 3 of the guys like were behind the mattress and they charged at the dude and then put him against the wall and then gave him like a shot. And I'm like, what the fuck is, that's when I was just like, I don't want to be at this place anymore. Like this is like you're not.
Oh, it's not humane.
Yeah, I was like, you're not.
You're kind of like treating it like a dog, like a.
Yeah. It was. I mean, I get he was gonna hurt somebody, so I get where they're coming from.
I know,
but also I wanted to just be like, just leave him, like let him be in here for a while, and just let him calm down. And when that happened, I kind of was just like, it's too much. Like I feel it's like felt like it was like a prison guard or something, which is not really what I'm
signed up for.
Yeah.
Wow, that is.
Yeah, it was
a crazy experience for anybody to
definitely
go through.
Yeah,
wow.
That was like my final straw.
Yeah,
I would say.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, let me just process that real quick. I just, whoa, I cannot believe, I've never I've personally never heard, you see like TV shows and, movies and stuff, but hearing an actual experience at an institute like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I just felt like
I did not imagine it was like
sometimes, and I wasn't like,
life.
the annoying thing was like, the doctors had all the power, so I couldn't be like, hey, we really shouldn't do this. Like this isn't right. The doctor would just be like, no, you have to do it. So I don't care. I'm the doctor. I run everything. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna quit because this is not.
Is that how all institutes are? I feel like if there's an institute that's a little bit more, treat people.
That was the one time that they went against protocol. Most of the time, there's a class that's for like. I see. Okay. They call it like handle with care.
Right.
Where if you need to like restrain somebody, there's a way to do it without like being violent or anything. Okay. But that was the one where they went against protocol, and I was like, I can't.
I'm good, thanks. Well, wow. Okay. Well. Subject change.
Yeah.
Let's go to some more bright things.
A little dark, yeah.
Oh man, wow. I'm sorry you went through like something like that, by the way.
Oh no, that's all right.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry for the patient that was.
Yeah.
Well,
me
all
too.
of those patients.
Oh wow. Logic. You got into Logic first, and then you went to Ableton.
Oh yeah.
By the way, why did you get into? Who introduced you to Logic?
Just because, it was myself. Just because Macs like come with GarageBand like initially, and I was like, that's where like most people that are just like, hey, what's this? And they kind of mess around in GarageBand, and then Logic is like if you want to take it seriously, you get Logic. It's like the same thing as GarageBand, but like the professional DAW version.
And was it an easy shift to go from Logic to Ableton?
There was a little transition period, probably like a week or so, because like there's everything's a little different, but it was like the best switch ever. Like my music, I think, changed completely from that. I don't know what it is about Ableton, but just like for like electronic music, it's just like so smooth.
Do you think it's superior than what's the other one?
Oh, FL, Fruity Loops.
Yeah. Fruity. I didn't know Fruity Loops. I didn't know FL was short for Fruity Loops.
Yeah,
everyone calls it FL.
Just because I think Fruity Loops just doesn't sound very professional. Like it doesn't sound very like, oh, I use Fruity Loops.
I got so embarrassed. I did an interview and someone said Fruity Loops, and I was like, oh, Fruit Loops.
Exactly, yeah.
It was so embarrassing, but I had no idea it was called Fruity Loops, FL Studio.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't say...
We'll go this way.
I wouldn't say it's like superior because like, there's people that use FL that are like top of the, like Porter Robinson and stuff,
Right, okay.
So I wouldn't know that though because I never really tried Fruity Loop or FL, whatever you want to call it. I think I downloaded it once because I wanted to try this one plugin that it has. Oh. And then it ended up not even working because it needed to be on a PC. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna delete this now.
What are your favorite plugins?
Probably Omnisphere, Serum is like everybody's favorite. I use there's one underrated plugin called Synthmaster that a lot of my sounds come from there. Yeah, I would say those are like my top three plugins. And then Silent is another good synth.
What's the best piece of music production advice you've ever received?
Never stop learning. Even if you're like Skrillex, like still look on tutorials and stuff. Because like they're just infinite knowledge about like, and that's kind of just like about anything really, like life in general. But like if I'm like having like a creative block or something, I'll just go into YouTube and like watch a tutorial on something like random that's like about music production, even if I'm not really using it at the moment. But it's just good to kind of, I didn't know about this, or I didn't know that plugin existed. So I wouldn't have known that unless I didn't watch this video.
Right. How long do you usually stay in the studio?
It depends. Like I would say like between like up to max like 6 hours before I'm like, all right, I need to take a break. No, not every day.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say.
No.
That's a long time.
But like Sometimes it's just like an hour or 3 hours, and then I take a break. But like, you know, there's guys that like are in there for like 12 hours just straight, and I'm just like, I can't do. My mind just doesn't let me, unfortunately. I wish I could, because I would probably get like an album done in like 2 weeks, but.
Right.
But like Elenium, for example, I was like talking to him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm usually just in there for like 12 hours," and I was like, "Dude, how do you like? This is why you really."
He's in the studio for 12 hours.
That's what he said. Sometimes, yeah, and that's how he's able to get so many albums out. And I'm like, damn, man, I wish I was able to have. I wish I can do that. I just get like fatigued and need to like go do something else.
Yeah. I would be too. Are you a nighttime or morning producer?
Unfortunately, a nighttime, which
Oh
I don't,
no!
which I don't really like, because like
Oh no!
it
You don't get any sleep.
yeah, it makes your sleep schedule pretty messed up.
So what time do you usually start producing music?
I mean, sometimes it's like 2 p.m. Sometimes it's like 5 p.m. if I didn't really sleep the night before. And by not sleeping the night before, it was because I was in the studio till like 6 in the morning or something. But it's not really healthy, you know. Like, I'd rather have like a
You're in the studio until 6 in the morning.
It's not like
sometimes?
it's not like every time, but there are times where it's just like the creative juices are just like flowing, and you're just like, if I stop right now, this is gonna like I'm not gonna get it back kind of feeling. So.
Wow. This is why I have so much respect for music producers. Okay, the fact that I love sleep so much.
Yeah,
and you go to bed by like 9 p.m. You know,
Oh
have
my
like
God.
at least 10, 11 hours of sleep. That's nice to me.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, I wish that would be great. I would love that.
But you guys sacrifice sleep to make amazing music. you
Yeah, I
know?
mean, there's plenty of producers that
There's like morning
that go in the
producers.
morning, yeah. Which is I just like tend to not feel as creative in the morning. I don't know why.
Right.
But it would be nice if I could, but
Yeah. How do you think your music's changed from your early days?
so yeah, I went through like a lot of different changes, I guess. Like when I first started, I was kind of just messing around, finding my sound. And then it kind of turned into like more like chill, like emotional kind of music, but it was like on the chill side. And then I started to make it more, it became a little bit more like melodic bass sounding, like the big kind of super saws and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was still like very like vocal chop focused in the drops. But now they're like a lot more like, they're still vocal chops, but they're like used more like leads, like long sustained sounds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's always been in the melodic realm though.
When you said like you're finding your sound and whatnot, how do you find your sound? You know, that's a big struggle with a lot of producers, is trying to find their own sound.
Well, it was like two phases of finding my sound. The first one was more of just a general sound, like a vibe kind of thing. Like
genre?
yeah, like because when I first started, I was like, oh, let me try Moonbaton, let me try dubstep, let me try. But then when I found my sound, it was like, oh, I like making melodic stuff, so I'll go this realm.
Oh, okay.
But then the other phase of like finding your like signature sound, I would say, that kind of happened like by accident. And then I was just like,
Oh.
yeah, it was kind of like I was just messing with a bunch of sound design stuff, and I just like made this sound, and it became kind of like a recognizable like sound, which is always kind of a cool thing. Like people can like hear it and be like, oh, that's NURKO, or when like Knife Party had their stuff, I'd be like, oh, I don't even need to know. I didn't even look. I know this is Knife Party just by hearing it, you know?
We'll go this way. This line had good shade.
Okay, yeah, we could, if you want.
There's a lot of good shade in this direction.
We could just walk back and forth, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so what do you think are the biggest challenges that you face in music? Like finding your sound or other things?
For me, it's like, it's actually like, that used to be it, but now it's more of the opposite, where because I've found my sound, I feel this pressure that I have to like keep doing it, and then it starts to get a little bit like old. Like you'd start to get old.
Yeah.
I want to do something else, but like you'll do something else, and then people will be like, well, doesn't really sound like NURKO, and then the song didn't do as well because of that and stuff. So it's always like I kind of have to have that like pressure of like, well, here we go again using this sound.
I guess there's pros and cons to having
a signature sound. Yeah.
Having your signature sound is that
because like
now
you can
people
only
expect it.
Yeah, people expect it, and you can only like use it for so long until you're like the music process isn't even fun anymore because you're just like using that sound again and again and again.
Is there like a genre or direction that you want to take that you're afraid of taking because of that challenge?
Yeah, I mean,
what genre would you entertain or go into if you didn't have that pressure?
Like, yeah, I would definitely do more like bassy sounds.
Bassy sounds.
Yeah, like even like dubstep, but like.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I have some. I make a lot of dubstep sounds. I watch tutorials on them, but I just never release them because it would be just like a 180. Like not people, but like my team is just like maybe if you make like another Alias, but it just wouldn't make sense like releasing this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that kind of stuff plays a part a little bit.
Does it?
A little bit. I mean, some people just do whatever. But when I guess just because of where because of being a melodic guy,
yeah.
it's like kind of hard to like branch out to like other like if I made like a tech house song or something, and people would be like, the heck is this? But then when you're like a bass producer, like they go all over the place, and it's like it's fine.
Yeah, when you're melodic, I feel like
you're kind of locked in.
But
a little
if you
bit.
go to dubstep, that's just like what?
Yeah, but then like Skrillex, for example, like he just releases whatever, but he's kind of had that bassy sound for so long that like he can kind of just do whatever.
Whoa, that's the last genre I thought you were going to say.
Really?
When you're like, when I asked you that question, I didn't realize you were going to be like dubstep.
I mean, yeah, dubstep, and then there's other ones like a little bit more like progressive house stuff, like like I call it like the golden era of like 2013, kind of like like old Alesso and stuff. Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of like me and Millennium did the Golden Hour remix, and we kind of were like, let's make it like a 2013 kind of style, progressive house kind of song. So that would be a genre for sure to do more of.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so we're going to go into frequently asked fan questions, and this is my personal favorite question. What is your ultimate comfort food?
Probably, I would say probably pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah.
What kind of pizza?
Honestly, just plain.
Plain?
Yeah. I mean.
Just cheese.
Just cheese. Yeah.
Just cheese.
Because I don't really eat pork anymore.
Yeah, you don't eat meat.
Well, I eat meat, pork. But it's just pork. I'm not like. Honestly, the only reason was because my dad from Kansas.
Yeah.
And they had like a farm, and I made friends with like this pig on the farm, and since then I was like, I'm not eating pigs again. So it's like that's the only reason I don't eat pork.
That's a really good reason.
Well, yeah, it honestly kind of makes me want to might just go full vegetarian, just because like I love animals, and I'm at the point now where I'm eating like a burger, just like it feels like. I don't know. I've seen videos and stuff because, like, you know, we don't see what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And not to bring it to be dark again.
Yeah.
But,
no, I totally get it. I did like a whole college debate thing on like how animals are treated.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So I know exactly what you mean when you say like behind the scenes.
Yeah. So I don't feel bad about eating pizza because just like.
Yeah. It's just
I mean, well, cheese technically.
Dairy. Yeah.
Yeah, but like. I guess there's a line somewhere. At least they're not killing the
actual meat. Style of pizza, though.
No, it's just plain. I mean, because I'm from like New Jersey, New York area.
Like
the
New York
pizzas.
style?
Yeah. I mean, like, just the pizza's just the best there. So it's like you can get like anything. You can get like any slice, and it'll be like amazing.
Have you ever tried Detroit style pizza?
No, I maybe I did. Is that what's the what is Detroit style?
It's like the crust. It's like it usually comes in a square, and the edges it's just very garlic parmesan-y.
Okay.
And it's very soft, thicker, and crispier.
Oh
my
wow.
gosh, it's just so good. If you're ever in the Midwest.
I'm playing in Pontiac, Michigan. That's near Detroit, right?
Yeah, so there's a chain called Jet's Pizza. It's my favorite pizza of all time.
Oh, okay.
And they have it's a chain out like I'm from Chicago, so
Yeah, I was gonna say. Do you like deep dish?
I don't.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't.
Well,
like
if you're
deep
from
dish.
Chicago, I don't want to insult it or anything.
No, you can totally you can.
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
It's
either.
not my favorite. It's just too.
Yeah.
One, there's too much cheese.
Yeah.
And then two, sometimes they don't cook it all the way, so it's really soggy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know
like
100%. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. Maybe that wasn't the right thing to say as a Chicagoan, but I don't like the deep dish pizza.
Well, everything else is great. It's all right if the pizza's not the best. Also, I'm biased just because New York pizza is just like, well, I don't know. Maybe Italy, it's a little better. I don't know.
I don't know if I've actually had like real New York style.
Oh my God, you need to.
pizza.
It's literally like there's like a science that goes into it. Like there's
Really?
like because of like the water out there. They've said like the minerals in the water make the quality just like a little bit better.
What?
So like that's why that's why it's just the best.
Tastes better.
Yeah, everything just tastes better. I think this is like my manager here. He came to.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why he just like parked awkwardly over there. But he came to my Webster Hall show. And I was like, you have to have like New York pizza, like. And we just went on a walk and we went to this random pizza joint that was like not even anything special. And he had like a bite and he was like, oh my God. It was like the best thing ever. And I'm like, Brady, this is like an average piece of pizza. This isn't even like that great. I was like, man, you're missing out, man.
Yeah. Oh, have you traveled internationally?
Yeah, I mean, not a lot yet, but I played in Mexico like
Oh, for
3 times.
Yeah.
That and the Gru cruise, it was Cabo. Yeah, Cabo.
Oh, Cabo.
Yeah.
So you've never gone to like Europe, Asia?
Europe, not yet. I might be playing China. I'm not 100%.
What?
Yeah, I mean, there's this. I think it's just a festival. I don't know the name of it, but I might be playing there. It's not 100% yet.
That's awesome.
I know.
I've heard amazing things about China.
I know.
And playing in China.
Yeah, it's a whole different vibe apparently.
Yes.
And
so
then
excited for
this tour, I have like 3 shows in Canada, but that's like really close to here. So I feel like it's not the same as like Europe and stuff.
What country is on the top of your bucket list to visit?
That's tough. I mean, probably like, I really want to go to like Norway, because I see like videos of like the
beauty.
Yeah, the northern lights and stuff, and just like I like the whole snow vibe out there too. Like, it's like cold, but it's like.
You should go to Iceland.
Yeah, Iceland. And then yeah, like Italy, Greece. Unfortunately, not really any of those places have a big melodic bass scene. It's more like, techno and like house stuff.
Right.
But still, just to go, I would go there for sure. Just to visit.
Oh, okay. And when you mentioned that you played Elden Ring, do you play any other video games?
I play a little bit like this one game called Ratchet and Clank. It's like a PS5.
Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet?
Yeah, it's a kids game basically. I don't know. It's like this. It's almost like a newer version of like Spyro.
Oh.
But it's
I've
like.
never heard of it.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's on PS5.
Oh, okay.
But no, it's generally Elden Ring. It's kind of. I try other games. I'm just like, I can't. It's not the same.
And also, you have limited time now.
Well, Elden Ring is probably the worst game to play if you're limited to time. Because like it's just like the whole world that you just get sucked into.
Yeah, exactly.
Like me and Zed the Sky actually plays Elden Ring too, and so does like Midnight Kids.
Oh.
And whenever I talk to them, we just go into this like nerded out like talk about like all this.
I love that.
Yeah, and like people heard what we say. People would not understand like even it's like almost it's not another language, but it sounds like we're talking about we're like in some kind of like I don't know coding like I don't know. It's hard to explain, but like if I read these messages, I even look at them like.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like,
I do that with Dota. That's the only game I play.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you know League of Legends?
I do. That's one other game I wanted to try. I haven't tried it yet.
I love. So it's like League of Legends. It's exactly like League of Legends, but it's Dota. It's called Dota, and it's based on like World of Warcraft characters.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah. When I was never the biggest gamer.
Yeah.
So I actually I wanted to get a PS5. So I texted Dabin actually and asked him like recommendations. And he said some good games.
Oh, I see.
I think he might have been the one that said Elden Ring. I was like, oh, all right, I'll get Elden Ring.
Give it a try. Yeah. I mean, it is voted like the #1 video game, so
yeah,
it's a good suggestion.
Yeah, it's just it's hard. But
yeah.
There's like a learning curve to it. But
what's your most watched movie?
I would say The Departed. Ironically, it's like is
that the one with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson.
Amazing.
And then what's it? Mark Wahlberg.
Whoa, I forgot how crazy that cast is.
That cast is, and they also have.
Holy cow!
They also have the other dude. I forget his name. Damn it, I forgot his name. The guy that unfortunately, the one that Alec Baldwin. He's in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow. That's a stacked roster.
I think I like it so much mainly because of just Jack Nicholson's character. He's just like, it kills that role. He's like probably my favorite actor.
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, yeah.
Okay.
He's just really good at playing this like psycho guy, but like, I don't know. That's just his specialty, I guess.
That's his specialty. Which one is Jack Nicholson?
Did you see The Shining? He's the one that says like, "Here's Johnny."
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That's him.
That's a younger version of him because that was like.
Okay.
But that's him, yeah.
Great actor.
He always plays like some kind of like.
Just like very.
Yeah, very like kind of crazy, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Funny story, actually. He has he bought one of my dad's paintings. So he has one of my dad's paintings. Like I don't know if he still has it hanging up, but he did buy it, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Whoa.
Got Jack Nicholson's bought your painting. That's sick.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, so like, how do you find your dad's work and stuff?
I think it was a gallery, and Jack Nicholson went to it and was like, I'd like to buy this.
That's so cool.
I know.
What a really cool fun fact. We should have dropped that one when you're like, my dad's a painter, and Jack Nicholson bought one of his pieces. Boom.
Yeah, I should. Cool. I guess I wasn't thinking about it, but yeah.
Whoa, that's so cool.
Yeah.
All right, switching to another question. What is the biggest lesson you learned in the music industry?
That it's normal to get like rejected and then try and not let it get to you too much because it honestly happens to like everybody.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single person that hasn't been like turned down. Mm-hmm. And sometimes,
especially in the beginning.
That's like
they don't really give you like a chance.
Yeah, there's a lot of politics that goes into it. But like even like the bigger guys, like sometimes like a singer or something or a label, it's just like, oh, we were didn't really want to go this direction, but that's completely fine, you know.
How do I ask this? So when I said when we're like talking about in the beginning as an artist, you get a lot of no's.
Yeah, you do. Unless you're like some kind of.
How do you get the yes? Like, what do you have to do? Is it like luck? Like, do you?
I mean, it's just
You know?
Yeah, it's just the music just kind of has to speak for itself. If the song is good, it's gonna get picked up, you know.
True.
But yeah, sometimes it's a little bit of luck though, because like there are like labels that are just like, we like this, but your profile's a little too small, so we're gonna like pass. and that kind of sucks because it's like you would have taken this if I was bigger though.
Yeah.
And so I guess it's a little bit of luck.
That's another thing too. It's like you're talented, but you're too small.
Exactly.
But how are you supposed to get bigger?
Yeah.
If you're small, no one will give you the chance to grow bigger.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's why there's labels that are kind of dedicated to really just finding talent, and it doesn't matter how big you are. If the song is good, the song is good.
Right.
Like Lowly is great for that.
Lowly.
Yeah.
That is a good label to start with.
I think they started as Lowly Palace, it was called, and then they just moved to just Lowly. But they bring up a lot of artists that are like just really talented, and that's important, you know.
Well, so what did you do to stand out from other artists in the beginning?
A lot of it was like getting on like the YouTube pages, like Trap Nation, like Proximity, because that really exposes you to a wider audience when you're like small, and so that's kind of what you did. What took me off a little bit. Like I didn't blow up from it, but it definitely like built my profile a little.
Yeah, helped.
Yeah, so I would say those YouTube tastemakers are pretty important, even to this day. Like,
I was gonna say, do you think it shifted after like TikTok got introduced and stuff?
Still, YouTube is still pretty up there.
Is it? Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Like TikTok definitely has made a big impact. The only thing that unfortunately used to have like a bigger kind of impact was SoundCloud. And unfortunately,
now it's kind of not
seeming
the
like
same.
it doesn't really matter as much anymore. Like I used to, like when I released a song, I would like, oh, I need to go on SoundCloud and I need to share this with everybody. I needed to get reposts from people. Now it's just like I just put it out and I'm like, all right, whatever. Yeah. And I see like every other artist is doing that too. Like you just go on SoundCloud and you see that it's not really getting the audience it used to. Right. Which is sad because I like SoundCloud a lot.
Yeah, a lot of producers called it the Tinder of music producers.
I could see that, yeah.
The Tinder of music producers.
Yeah, I could see that.
Everyone just like finds each other and is a fan of each other's music and just collaborating in that level.
Yeah, I think that's how Arm & Hammer got connected to me. I just got a message on SoundCloud.
You did? Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
I don't remember exactly what it was, so I could be wrong, but I think it was just like, in my inbox, just like, hey. And that was it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow, they're so cool. Just say.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I remember it was something small like that.
Oh, so funny. What piece of advice would you give your younger self?
I guess try and live a little bit more in the moment. Because I was like so focused on music that I was like not really I was almost like I was like letting life pass me by because I was just so like grinding so hard. Yeah. And then like always thinking about like the future, which is, it's good to think about the future, but I like obsessed about it, you know? Oh. And it kind of like, now that I'm a little older, I was like, I wish I kind of just enjoyed whatever was going on a little bit more.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. How old are you?
30.
30. Oh, we're the same age.
Actually, no, wait. Sorry, 31. I literally just
forgot your age?
Yeah, I thought
that's how much you've been just working hard, you know?
Yeah, that's how the birthdays become more and more less significant.
Yeah, once you hit 30,
because I was like, I was saying 30, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh no, wait, I turned 31. But
yeah. Once you hit 30, I feel like just age, you just forget.
Oh, dude, that's exactly how it is.
I'm like 30, 31.
I think it was like that. I started once I was like 27. I was just kind of like, all right, like slow down, time. Like this is getting too fast.
See. What's the top goal on your bucket list right now?
The top goal for our team probably would be to like play. We want to like play like bigger shows, like in like, you know, like stadium kind of shows. Ooh. And then have like more of a live, like I'm doing live stuff now for the first time on my tour, but like having an actual like, you know, an actual drummer and kind of like what like Odessa does. Yeah. And then Millennium's new tour, like all that stuff is really, and Dabin, it's really, I think it's a whole different experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so.
I totally get that.
versus just like DJing.
Yeah.
Which is cool too, but like when you're doing stuff live, it's just like I've watched Dabin's show and I was like, man, this is like incredible. This is like so inspiring. And it like leaves an impact too. So it's like,
so you want to make that same impact with your shows?
With my shows, yeah. I want it to be a little bit more of like an experience that like people kind of like are like, that was like, you know, like takes them away from whatever they're dealing with for like an hour and a half, and they're just like in like a trance of the show, kind of. Because that's how I felt when I saw like Odessa's, like their intro and stuff is like insane.
Yeah, I mean like Odessa's shows are.
Yeah,
bananas.
But unfortunately you need like quite a lot of capital
billions of dollars.
Yeah, to make all that stuff happen.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm just like up there with like a little drum pad.
Yeah.
Like I always see like all these big artists doing these like incredible like shows that cost a lot of money. It reminds me of that like SpongeBob episode where like they were they had like the Krabby Patty competition where the Neptune was like making all these Krabby Patties, and then SpongeBob was just like with like one little Krabby Patty and was like tucking it in with cheese and stuff. And that's what I imagine. I'm like us. Like I'm a little. I take a little bit longer to make music, and then I like. But it's like every song is like I tuck it in like it's like my baby, and like it's like I don't know.
Wow, I really like that analogy.
Yeah, I mean
I love how you just brought SpongeBob into this.
I obsess about every little detail in my songs where it becomes kind of like I probably would get a lot more music done if I like didn't.
No, but that's why you are where you're at.
Yeah.
It's because you take your time with each and every piece of.
Like I've had like the first like 10 seconds of a song would take like sometimes like a day where I would just like, oh, dude, change that a little bit.
I don't know how music producers do that. You have so much patience. That is lots of patience.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Respect. Wow. 2 more questions. What's next for you?
Well, I mean, right now, I guess next for me would be the rest of the tour because I just started it. I just did my second show last night, and then the rest of the tour, and then after that, probably relax a little bit, and then
get some sleep.
Yeah, get some sleep. But I'm just gonna keep making music, and eventually there'll be an album. It's not quite here yet, but that's like the plan, the long-term kind of plan.
Okay. Album. What's your take on albums and singles right now?
I like albums.
Because there's like a story behind
there's like
the
albums. Yeah, there's like a story
stuff.
behind it, but like.
But with like releasing.
Yeah, like Astralwerks and stuff, and like labels. Right now, Spotify's algorithm, unfortunately, is a little bit catered towards singles. Where like an album, the songs won't do quite as well because they're not like pitched. Like the editorials are really focused on just like one song, not like 15.
Yeah.
So I like albums though.
Yeah, I do too, mainly because like the story and how much effort is put into like putting this story together. Yeah. But I just don't, like.
That's kind of why I haven't released an album yet because.
There's just a favor for singles.
Yeah, and a lot of the songs kind of just get swept under the rug. Yeah. I mean, unless they're like massive, where like every single song is gonna get put on like New Music Friday and all those big playlists.
Yeah, true.
But
it's like a different perspective now. Once you hit a certain level, it's like business.
Yeah, Spotify kind of changed the game for music for sure.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last question. What do you want to be remembered for?
I would say I want to be remembered for just making music that people listen to I don't know, to help them in some way, I guess. Like if they're dealing with something, if they're in, whether it was like a breakup or if it was just not having a good day, and they listen to it and it can help them a little bit. I want it to have like an effect on people, more than just like, oh, I like this song. It's more like, oh, this really helped me during this time, which is like a lot of fans have said that, that you like, I listened to this song so much when I was going through this and that I was like, oh, that's exactly what I want my music to do, you know?
Aw, that's amazing. And you are doing that.
Yeah.
You're doing amazing, amazing things.
Thank you.
Jack, thank you so much for doing this interview.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course.
This was awesome.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
See ya.